So avidya leads to kama, desire, and kama leads to karma. Our general desire motivated activities are coming like that. But when it is not desire motivated, we generally call it kriya. It is not karma. The whole universe is tremendous, unimaginable activity, but all these are kriya. They are not karma. Nothing is desire motivated there. So for a jnani's life also it becomes a kriya, not karma. He does not have any more desire motivated activity, but he functions, he does more than others. That's all kriya. That is what he is saying, jnana bala kriyacha, jnana bala kriyacha. The supreme consciousness by its sahaja, svabhaviki, sahaja. Svabhaviki means natural, spontaneous, by its knowledge, power, action. By its own manifestation, the whole magic of the world is being done. So he says that for him, yah tu atmaratihi eva syat, atmatriptasya manavaha, atmani eva cha santushtaha, tasya karyam na vidyate. For him there is no karya at all. He has to do this, do that, this is his duty. No, he should look after his parents, he should look after his child. Nothing is there for him. He may not. Whatever comes, he does. Tasya karyam, that no duty is spoken of about him. For whom? Yaha tu, 3 words they have given. Atmaratihi, atmatriptaha, atmani eva cha santushtaha. 3 means same. Generally we are always having vishaya rati. Rati means reveling in, indulging in. We have vishaya rati. Vishaya rati means always indulging in and reveling in objective situation or objective objects or objective situation. We are looking for something else to get joy. Is it not? Only in meditation when somebody is able to get the bliss, he is not looking for anything else within. Then he discovers that actually the joy is within, not outside. The outside is only an incidence through which he is having the joy. So he is atmaratihi, that means he is not vishayarati, he does not look for any enjoyment anywhere outside. His joy is always welling forth from within. But it is not a joy of the kind we may think. It is always a fulfillmental joy. A cheerfulness, fulfillmental cheerfulness. Not that he will always do ha ha hi or anything. He is always complete, purna, he is always fulfilled. Atmaratihi, because everywhere it is his Atma, he is reveling in his Atma. Yahtu atmaratireva syat, atmatriptaha, he is satisfied, fulfilled with his Atma alone, he doesn't look for anything else. Actually there is nothing else, everything is Atma. What will he look for? Atmani eva cha santushtaha, remaining within the Atma, he is absolutely peaceful, contented. Tasya karyam na vidyate. For him there is no duty at all. Naiva tasya kritenartho na krite neha kaschana na chasya sarva bhuteshu kashchidartha vyapashrayah. Iha, in this world, kritena tasya arthaha naeva. Akritena kahchana na. By doing something, he has no purpose in this world. By not doing also, he does not have purpose. If you say that doing there is no purpose, so I don't do anything. No. By not doing also there is no purpose. So he will not be idle. Whenever anything to be done, he will take up any amount of burden. If he cannot sleep, he will not sleep and carry on as long as the body carries on. Whatever is needed, he will do. Throughout the trip, Swamiji and Ma they were generally sleeping only 3 hours, 3.5 hours every day in USA. Now also Delhi it is somewhat 4 hours or so. Because of the demand of the place. So many people, so much of work, etc. So it is not that he has no purpose in doing anything, but he has no purpose in not doing anything also. Depending on whatever comes, he does. He may not do also. If he feels that the body is not able to take, sometimes he will not do. Swamiji said that this time I cannot take any more this long flight. After he reached. And Ma says that whenever he is speaking and all, he is working, but the moment he is sitting in the car or anywhere, he is sleeping. Night sleep is so less that throughout the day he is sleeping here and there. But Swamiji said that is not fully true. Now what is happening is that while speaking to some devotee also I am falling asleep. Maybe that he was speaking something, suddenly he starts dozing. So the body is not able to take. He says that I should stop moving like this, I should not move. Naiva tasya kritenartho na kriteneha kaschana. Even not doing also he has no purpose. Nacha asya sarvabhuteshu kaschid arthavyapashraya. He has no prayojana, no demand, no expectation from anywhere, anytime, from anybody. No prayojana samparka, no gain and what do you call it? The transactional gain expected from anywhere at all. So this is the state of a person who has atmaratihi, atmatriptaha, atmani evacha santushtaha. That is one who has realized his self. This is the thing, who is contented with his self. For him this is true. Now immediately there was a problem for Krishna, because whenever he speaks of this lofty state, Arjuna says that, can I not do it then? Do I have to fight the war? He will say again in the 5th chapter or so, that why are you again putting me into that? Problem still persists. So knowing that, Krishna takes the precaution and suddenly cautions him, no, this is not for you. This is for the knower, this is so. But for you it is not so. So therefore you do this. Without Arjuna's question here, he is putting the correction. Tasmat means therefore. Tasmat asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. It is a direct order. Samachara. That means you do. Asakto hi acharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. Tasmad asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. Asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. Therefore, O Arjuna, you karyam karma samachara, whatever comes to be done, for example, now the war has come, this great war has come, you have to fight it. Karyam karma, whatever has come to you to be done, you do it, but do it with asakti, asaktaha, not clinging to winning the war or winning the kingdom or ruling the kingdom, enjoying the happiness of ruling the kingdom, nothing like that. That is keeping away that carrot of happiness at the end, carrot of gain at the end. Leaving that aside, you do whatever has come to you, perform that. Because asaktaha hi acharan karma param apnoti purushaha. If one does remaining asaktaha, that is not clinging to his carrot, then he attains the supreme. Param apnoti purushaha. He attains the supreme. Then he goes on to say, karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadayaha lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. See, from here he has again taken to the social awareness dimension. He is referring to Janaka and others. That is like Ashwapati. Ashwapati you may not know that much. Who was the father of Savitri Satyavan, you know. No? Father of Savitri was Ashwapati. So they were all known as great Rajarshis. Janaka, Ashwapati, etc. So such people, those who are Rajarshis, they have also attained their siddhi by remaining active. They have not shunned their activities. They have ruled the kingdom and got the highest of the attainment in spiritual field also. And at least if you don't accept that, looking at the Loka Sangraha, you should do the karma. So the concept of Loka Sangraha we have to understand. Up tomorrow. This Loka Sangraha is a very important word in spirituality. Whatever we are doing, it is only for Loka Sangraha. So people will have to, those who are volunteers in CIRD also, they should understand that their only purpose of getting involved is Loka Sangraha. Lokanam Unmarga Pravritti Nivaranam Karma. Or Lokanam Unmarga Pravritti Nivrittartham Karma. That is, left to itself, the society will always degenerate. Why? Because there are clashing interests. Selfish, people are selfish. They always want to win over others, competition, greed, etc. So if any society is left to itself, after some time it will perish. That is what has happened to Rome, Greece, etc. Those civilizations, anywhere, it will perish after some time. So to make the society sustained, you have to always have supply the centripetal force of Loka Sangraha, that is bringing back the society on the auspicious track. Lokanam Unmarga Pravritti, Utmarga, that means they will be going away from the auspicious track because of the selfish interest and competition and greed and all that. So bringing them back on the auspicious track is called Loka Sangraha. Whatever we do in the name of spirituality is only to do Loka Sangraha, that is supplying a centripetal force to the society. Centripetal means which will take you to the center of your personality, the anchor, the soul, the truth. So society is always we are trying to bring back the society on the path of truth. That is called Loka Sangraha. So he said that even if you don't accept all these things, at least thinking of Loka Sangraha you should fight, because if you don't fight, the country will be ruled by the ruthless kings as it is now. That is the time he is talking about. All the kings have become corrupt. So thinking of bringing back the society on auspicious track, you have to fight. In the process you may sacrifice your life also. Doesn't matter. But you have to fight, because fighting is your karma. You are a Kshatriya. And it is on your part, you have to do it as Loka Sangraha, if not anything else. Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasadat Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmane Namo Namastestu Punarnamostu Namo Namastestu Punarnamostu Namo Namastestu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Kasmai Chinmahase Namaha Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate. Hari Om Tat Sat. We will chant from the 16th. I think the cycle of creation, is it clear now after we showed the cycle yesterday? But some are saying that there are some more questions. Said that it will be too much, we cannot drag. So if there are questions, I can take that question at the end. Evam pravartitam chakram, 16th verse. 3rd chapter, 16th verse. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayah अघायुरिन्द्रियारामो मोघं पार्थ स जीवति यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्याद् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो नाकृतेनेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः. So this shloka, 19th shloka, is a direct instruction that, oh Arjuna, you do like this. Because there was a doubt that the 18th and 17th, the previous two verses, it is about a knower. That he has nothing to do, he has nothing to gain, whether he does or not, it does not matter at all. Why? This we should not forget. Yahtu atmaratireva syat atmatriptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtaha. If it is so, then for him there is nothing. What is that? Atmaratihi. He does not have Vishayaratihi. Whatever given he enjoys, but he is not after enjoyment anything at all. Atmaratihi. He knows that all the joy that is we are feeling, it is all coming from within. It is not in the object. It is in our subject. From our soul the joy is coming. And Atmatriptaha. He is satisfied with his Atma alone. He doesn't want for satisfaction anything in the universe. Atmani eva cha santushtaha. He is completely contented with his own self by remaining in self. If it is so, then it is. We should remember that this lack of tripti, we call it insufficiency. Lack of tripti means there is an insufficiency. Right from birth, we are born with an insufficiency. Insufficiency? In Hindi में क्या बोलेंगे? अभाव बोधा, अभाव बोधा, अभाव बोधा. हम लोग हमारा जन्म हुआ है अभाव बोधा लेके. सबको ये अभाव बोधा होगा. Why? Because we are not knowing ourselves, we are always looking at outside, and for satisfaction we are always looking for something else. That is the abhava bodha. Because of the insufficiency we are doing like that. Always we are running after something right from childhood. It is because of the insufficiency, the abhava bodha we carry with us. This abhava bodha will go only when we get back to ourself. Generally, we say that our self, which is our real identity, it is always calling us that how long will you be involved in this world? Come back, come back. When are you going to come back on my lap? But like naughty children, we always go on playing with the objects. At least the children, the babies, after some time they get tired and they come back to the mother's lap. We are naughtier than that. We never come back to the mother's lap. You know why? Because every night we have a deep sleep state. That is, we are resting in the mother's lap. We don't come to know, but actually we are getting the rest in the mother's lap. So again next morning we start running around. Again night the sleep comes, we are resting. We are doing it, but the mother is calling us to come back with the awareness, not unaware of her presence. When we are in deep sleep, we are not knowing what is happening. That soul, our real mother is always calling us back to get back to herself with the awareness that I am resting in her lap only. But we don't heed that, we go around. So this insufficiency lingers on, even when a person takes to the sadhana, spiritual sadhana also. He is looking for something self or some bliss which will come and fulfill him. Then also that insufficiency is lingering on. We are looking for some bliss in meditation or some self-realization, some concept of self-realization we have. With that, what are we trying? That I will become fulfilled by that. Actually, the fulfillment will come when we stop looking outside for anything. Even for the self also, we have to stop looking for the self. Then only the fulfillment will come. Initially, it is necessary to take us away from all other, clinging to all other things. That we start looking for the self, rejecting the whole world. But then that becomes the hindrance, that still we are suffering from the insufficiency, that we are looking for the self by which I will become fulfilled. Actually, if we stop looking outside, then itself, there itself we will become fulfilled. Because then the consciousness will not get engaged in anything. It will reveal itself and we will get back to our own self. So this insufficiency goes when we get back to our Atma. That is why he becomes Atma Tripta. He understands that there is nothing in the world specially to run after. Atma Triptaha, Atma Ratihi. He doesn't have Vishaya Ratihi. He is Atma Ratihi. Atmani evacha santushtaha. For him there is nothing to be done specially. But he will say that he also will go on doing because of some other reasons that he will present. Earlier also he said. But he is not bound to do. He doesn't have any duty at all. He doesn't have anything to gain from the world. He doesn't have anything that whatever has not been obtained, he doesn't feel like that. That means he is freed of insufficiency. If this word you remember, and this is the Abhava Bodha. Abhava Bodha is the main disease we are suffering from. If that goes, that is why all the Shastras at the end they speak about desirelessness, desirelessness, desirelessness. All theories are only in the beginning. आत्मा ये है, आत्मा वो है, ब्रह्मन ही है, प्रकृति ये है, वो सब शुरू में है. At the end of Kathopanishad or Mundakopanishad, the other day I said, Kathopanishad also, Yada sarve pramuchyante kama yasya hridishritaha athamatyo amrito bhavati atra brahma samashnute. Yada hridi ashritaha sarve kamaha pramuchyante. When the desires which are sitting in our heart, hridi ashritaha kamaha sarve pramuchyante, when all of them are dissolved, cut asunder, removed. Athamatyo amrito bhavati, the mortal man who is always afraid of death, afraid of losing what he possesses, or afraid of facing something, who is always, that man is called matyaha, that is maranashila, that means mortal. Athamatyo amrito bhavati, he becomes immortal then, when all the desires are cut asunder, removed. Athamatyo amrito bhavati atra brahma samashnute. Here itself, in this life, on this earth itself, he attains Brahman, not after the body falls, here itself. Yada sarve prabhidyante hridayasyeha granthayaha athamatyo amrito bhavati etabadhyanuशासनम. Two shlokas, one after another. When all the knots of the heart are broken, that means ego. We posit a special kartritva and bhoktritva. I have done this, I have to do this, I have to enjoy this, all these things. Then the man becomes immortal. So where is the Atma gone? Where is the Brahman gone? Where is Prakriti gone? That is the real truth. But to take us to that, all these are necessary. Lot of theory, etc., so that you can put your mind to understand. They will particularly make it very difficult. We are trying to make it easy, but actually we should make it difficult. So that you have to engage your mind fully, mind and buddhi fully. When we have to engage our mind and buddhi fully, That means the mind and buddhi are interacting with these concepts. It is not just the truth is told and you know the truth and you are gone, oh, Atma is like this, Atma is universal, it is transcendental. No, nothing will happen by that. The constantly reading about, studying about, ruminating on, analyzing about it, if it is so, then why this is happening? It is said it is nirlepa, it never gets affected. Then why I am getting affected? I always feel that my eye is always affected. Then where lies the garbad? Where lies the difficulty? When we constantly ruminate, think about it, by that process, the mind and intelligence undergo a transformation. That is what is the sadhana.